Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Park May. My name is Veda,
and I'm Kika,
and we're here to talk about the Australian Grand Prix for the second time for us, first time for you, because we just had recording issues.
Yeah, we were like 30 minutes in too.
Yeah, but that's okay because now we know everything we want to say to you guys.
I hope you guys enjoyed the race as much as we did. So we had a watch party in Discord last night. There were like 6 of us.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. We kind of got in about a half hour later, sitting there waiting, watching, starting off strong. I'm just jumping in.
Yeah.
We didn't even the cars are released from the pit for the first time to just go reconnaissance.
Yep.
And we don't even get one full lap. And unfortunately, Oscar Piastri walls it.
Which, if you guys did not catch the last episode, Piastri was my pick for a podium because I wanted him to break that home race curse. That did not happen.
It did not
Poor
happen,
Oscar.
So, poor Oscar. And Zach did not hide his disdain on that, which I felt really bad.
Yeah.
And then,
what was it that he said? He was like, yeah, he's not really giving us any feedback. I was like, dude, he's upset. He
got out of the car really fast. He's not talking to us.
Yeah, like,
and
come on, man.
He was acting like a dad. He was
yeah.
Like, yeah, he messed up, but like, and he's sulking for no, like, no,
yeah.
he like literally just crashed.
Yeah, he went to his room and he locked himself in his room and he wouldn't come down for dinner.
But also he was being smart in that he's not gonna show up and be like, hey guys, the race hasn't started yet and I'm gonna sit there and debrief and get mad at you. It's no, focus on the race ahead. We've got a week to talk.
Yeah, it's not only that, but it's one of those things of like, hey, get through the race and then maybe ask him what happened. You know, like he's gonna be upset. He wants to be out there. He wants to race. It's the first race of the season. It's his home race. Like he wants to be out there. Give him a second to chill out and then he'll come talk to you. Like I mean, it's not.
And it's a long walk. He had to walk back.
And I understand both sides because yes, you want information on what happened. Was it something with the car? Was it driver error? Like you want to know, sure. Because on a reconnaissance lap, it's not going to be something like, yeah, I got, bumped into and went off track or whatever. So I get it. I understand wanting to know, but like these guys are human. They're going to be frustrated. They're going to be upset. You just got to give them a second.
No, yeah. I think that was a little shitty, Zach, personally.
I mean...
But he did come out with something really good. One of the people interviewing said, so what do you need to do to, like, win the race?
To catch up to the pace. He's like, go faster.
Be faster?
Yeah, what do you mean? Race faster?
Race faster? Question mark?
Zach's humor is such a spectrum for me because sometimes I'm like, you're not funny, man. And other times I'm like, oh, that's a good one.
You're hilarious.
Yeah. But
McLaren started one spot down.
Yeah. And that grid spot that was left open, that P5 was right in front of Lewis Hamilton and right next to his teammate Lando Norris. So it gave both of them a pretty good opportunity, and Lewis ran away with that opportunity. He was quick to jump on Lando, and Lando wasn't in any position to fight because he's just not agreeing with where McLaren is right now. Like I don't think him and the car are not having the greatest relationship. They're kind of, they're fighting it out a little bit. Yeah. So.
No, but the first start of the race was insane because actually not only did we lose Oscar, we did not have Hülkenberg either.
Yeah, Hülkenberg had to retire before the race even started, which it inspired me and Kika to change our fantasy a little bit because now we have decided that if a lap is not completed by the driver before retiring, we're just not going to count it. They just didn't race. No. It's a do not start. Yeah, did not start or whatever. So we're zeroing out the points there because
at that point it was zero. There was no point us both starting -10.
Yeah. There was both of us were gonna take a dip for it, and we were like, well, I mean, it's not like engine failures happen and stuff like that, and DNFs are one thing because at least you were in the race and now you're out of it. But to not even make it to the race, it doesn't make sense to even give you points for anything. Yeah. So tiny change in the fantasy, but for that For both of them, unfortunately, that was a rough start to the season.
Very rough start.
However, they were not alone. There were cars that raced around and did not finish anyways.
Did not finish. Okay, that's starting. We're gonna start. Lights out, away we go. Charles sniped.
Yeah.
He sniped
right
that
off
shit.
Rip. And it was a great
Right
battle.
after.
It was
so
what we've been waiting
Hamilton
for.
Took that too.
Yeah. And I feel like for a long time, it's been. I think a lot of us wanted to see the same kind of battles that we saw between Max and Charles a few years ago, where, you know, you're overtaking and then you go to another corner and it's another overtake, and to another corner it's another overtake. And we got that, like, right off rip. And that felt so good to watch George and Charles just battle it out for a little bit. And I think it's so funny too, because during that time there was a point where the commentators, because Russell called Charles out for doing something, he's like, yeah, it was incredibly dangerous or whatever, and it was so funny. The commentators were like, yep, new season, new regulations, but George Russell has not changed.
George Russell has not changed at all.
So funny.
It was entertaining, to say the least.
Yeah.
I'm sad we didn't get too many good comms. We got like one or two good comms, but like a lot of the comms were just kind of quiet on our end. Obviously, they were always talking.
I think they probably didn't want to cover too many of the races, because I think a lot of people were talking to their teams about how the car felt. Yeah, the new, yeah. So I think they probably wanted to spare us from that kind of chatter, and they just did things that were super relevant. So you had like the Ferrari strategy and Lewis saying like one of us should have pitted. Yeah. So let's go through the stuff that happened before that, or the stuff that led up to that. So during it was before like the 13th lap or the 12th lap, because I think that's when George and Kimi pitted, where Isaac had some engine failure, right?
Yeah. Isaac didn't make it 10 laps, unfortunately. He was the first Red Bull out. Even though he did a really good job, he held his own for 10 laps and stayed within the top 6.
Yeah, he did well.
And then his car just said no.
I believe right at the beginning, he lost a couple places, but he was still, I think he was 5th, right? Because he was right before Norris.
Yes.
And then he went off with engine failure. Norris took 5th. And Lindblad was up there too, because Arvid killed it as far as I'm concerned. I mean, he had a phenomenal race, but yeah, so lap 10 or 11 or so, Isaac goes off with engine failure. We have another DNF to add to the list. And during that time, you saw a lot of people pitting for that first virtual safety car as they were recovering Isaac's car, and Ferrari just didn't pit. And I said it before, and I will say it again, there is a chance that they knew that Mercedes were going to pit for hards, and because all of them are able to hear like what the other teams are doing to an extent, like the comms are very intricate and very complex, and they're able to see the other team's comms to an extent. So they might have known that they were going to push a one-stop strategy and they were going to pit for those hards. So they might have wanted to make, room for themselves. But Mercedes just has too much pace, and they got out on that clean air and they caught up. That radio message was so funny when they were like, yeah, and that's George Russell 10 seconds behind, and Lewis is like, only 10 seconds?
Only 10 seconds.
So, we were all like, yeah, that's crazy. You guys should have pit. So it was funny because we were all sitting in the chat together, and I was literally like, why would you not pit one of the cars? And then like 5 seconds later, Lewis comes on the radio and he's like, one of us should have pit. And I'm like, thank you. I feel so vindicated. But
you know what? This is your opportunity.
This is my calling.
Yeah, you need to get a job as an engineer just to make calls.
Yeah, race strategist. I think I would screw it up for sure. I think I would. I think there are a lot of people who feel like they could do it, but when you have 10,000 bits of information in front of you and you have to solve that puzzle on spot, I
Oh
don't
yeah,
I
not a
don't think
chance.
I could do it.
Are
Yeah.
you kidding? I can't even like solve a problem with my sock being like
For
wet
real. Yeah.
right there like, in the middle. There's no way.
I'm not even really sure how to tell if the egg is floating and it's bad or not. So I mean, I don't think I can determine how the race is going to go based off of which tire we choose.
Right.
But yeah, I do think Lewis is right. I think they should have pit one of them, even in the off chance. Like there was so much time between the Ferrari Mercedes front of the pack and the middle of the pack by the end. They would have been fine even if they had pitted one of them. They still would have probably held third and fourth. So I think that would have been worth the shot. I would have pitted Lewis and let Charles keep going. And then are you kind of sacrificing Charles and his position? Maybe a little bit, because if you're pitting Lewis, he's going to have those fresher tires. When Leclerc comes into the pit, he's going to lose position. If the Mercedes are in front of Lewis, I mean, he's probably not going to let Charles have that position back because he wants the podium too. So they probably would have sacrificed it, but I think they would have had a better chance of fighting Mercedes had they pit one car so that they could have backed up the Mercedes and then both been in the fight. I mean, you just never know.
I genuinely don't know.
With this overtake mode, I feel like there's a lot possible that wasn't in the past. I mean, Kika found a graphic earlier that we put in our race notes because last year, the 2025 Australian Grand Prix, there were 45 overtakes. This year's Australian Grand Prix, there were 120, over double. So I mean that.
Listen, I'm just saying, if all the races are gonna be like this, I'm okay staying up all night and sleeping on my office floor for an hour for the final race.
For Abu Dhabi.
It's gonna be like this, right?
Yeah, if it's not going to be I mean, by that time, we might not even need to worry too much about it because George might already be crowned the champion, but,
Yeah. You called it.
I already called it. My father has already told me that he is trusting my initial word because I was right last year. I don't want to be right. I want to take it back and say that Charles will be the champion, but I have a feeling if it's not going to be this year, I think we could get Charles next year. I still think he's got a chance to fight. I think that, I mean, George said it in the cool down room when he was talking to Charles. He said, "You guys are not slow," and no, he's right. Ferrari has built a rocket ship that can keep up with Mercedes. Because if you watched that race and you watched the end of it, they were keeping the same pace. They just weren't within striking distance. They couldn't make up the time. But if those cars are on the grid or on the track together fighting, they're gonna keep up with them. So I'm excited to see what Ferrari does. I really am.
The Ferraris, other than their bad calls, they did fantastic. Now, tracking a little further, our rookie this year slammed it.
Oh yeah.
Slammed it.
Yes.
Started first lap 4th place, ended 8th place. Had Max. He got out of the pit. They had to pit at the same time, both Max and Arvid, and Max was on his tail. He got out and sniped a pit lane spot in front of Max and got out.
Yeah, he had the quick reaction. They had a good pit stop time. He got into the pit first. I mean, yeah, they had a really, really good race for the Racing Bulls, Visa Cash App Racing Bulls.
Even Liam was
Liam did all right,
but that's higher than everybody else.
I mean,
considering we had 16 Fs,
yeah,
15 F.
I think
they've got the Ford engines Fording.
I think VCarb was only beat out by Haas, right? Because Esti Bestie and Behrman were.
Esti Bestie, yes. Oliver Behrman 7th.
Esteban was 11th, so it was, right?
Yeah, Esteban was 11th. Alexander Albon was 12th, and then it was Liam.
Yeah.
However, and Pierre. But even still, Arvid, his very first race in the F1 season,
he got points.
Scored points.
Yep.
8th place.
And I mean, it's not something it's not something that's uncommon per se, like it's happened before, but it's super impressive, especially when you look at his age. I mean, he's
Right.
18
He's like
and he's out
18.
here defending against Max. And I mean, I'll give him the credit there, even though Max was in a car that he was constantly fighting. Um, because Max still wanted the overtakes, I'm sure. And he was having trouble
Oh
getting
yeah.
past Lindblad. And I think that speaks a lot to how promising Lindblad's career
I
is
mean,
about to be.
he was having trouble getting past Lando.
Yeah.
Now obviously Lando and Max, they were like 50 plus seconds behind George. Like they were not catching the front of the pack.
Mm-hmm.
However, Lando ended at 50 plus 51 7, Max was plus 54 6, and they had a couple moments where they were nose to nose, tail to tail, but Max
Yeah.
just couldn't push it any further than he could.
Yeah. I think Max got up to that sixth place, and I feel like at that point he was like, this car is fighting me too much. The tires are,
I'll take it here.
yeah, the tires are not doing what I want them to do. The battery's not doing what I want it to do. So we're sitting sixth. And I mean,
I'm not mad.
if they had Isaac, they probably could have done a little more because Isaac was ahead of Norris. And so he could have, backed Norris up for Max. He could have done a lot, but it's just unfortunate. I mean, to have your teammate DNF, it means that there's a little less that they can do for you on track, and there's a little less teamwork that can happen. But there was
But the
no
car's
telling.
still shaping up really nicely. Like, all
Yeah,
things considered, they might not have it down to a science the way Mercedes does. I mean, Toto knows what he's working. Toto's know what he's got. Don't lowball
yeah.
him.
That
But
he's been
but
cheeky this weekend.
he's so cheeky, and I love it. But like Red Bull, the Ford engine is still being a really solid engine. I think what they're struggling in seriously is a lot of electronic stuff right now.
Yeah, and I mean it's not as bad as Aston Martin with the
Oh,
Honda engine, but I mean I
oh,
think Red Bull can do it because the Racing Bulls look good. And if the Racing Bulls look good, if the junior team looks good, then the big sister team should be just fine. I think they just
right.
have a little tuning to do. Um
Right. And
but
everybody does. Everyone has a whole bunch of tuning. This is
oh
the very
yeah.
first
I
race.
mean
I would
Cadillac's
in new
got
regulations.
issues, Audi evidently has issues, McLaren doesn't look like it's, completely up to par with what they wanted it to
Are
be. So I mean,
Haas seems to be looking okay.
yeah, Haas does
Williams is having
seem
issues.
Haas actually does seem to be looking pretty good. I mean,
Yeah, not 7 and 11. That's
yeah.
still pretty great. I know that Carlos is personally having some troubles with his cars. Alexander still did pretty decently though.
Yeah.
He got 12th. So
Yeah.
like, I mean,
There's
Williams has
promise
always
there.
been kind of a middle of the pack people.
Yeah. I know they're
Um,
pushing to be more front of the pack, but I think maybe once they get a little more situated within the new
right.
rules and regulations and all that, and they can get the car. Because Alex and Carlos are both good drivers. I mean,
Oh, for
They
sure.
they have a good lineup. They just need the car that can get them there because I mean you're still Carlos is still the most previous win for Ferrari. So um
You're so right. But like every so far, I really think the top three cars on the grid right now are definitely not McLaren, sorry, Mercedes, Ferrari, and I think McLaren and Red Bull are neck and neck.
yeah, I think they're tied for being that kind of like runner up car because I do think that Mercedes is going to run away with this season, but I think if anyone's going to give them a run for their money, it's going to be Ferrari. I think
Oh, for sure.
Ferrari has figured something out.
Ferrari puts on the pressure.
Yeah.
They've got the pressure.
I feel like if Ferrari could have gotten those compression rate whatever things to get that like little bit of extra power, they would have taken it from Mercedes. But they have to have figured out something different. And I don't know
If
if
they
it
had done a better pit stop, they could have taken it from McLaren.
well, but we don't know that, right? Because their pit stop might have depended on Mercedes doing a two-stop strategy. And if
Yeah.
Mercedes pushed that one stop, they would have. I think that's why Charles at the end said, I don't think we had the chance anyways, but it's nice to be
Right.
standing here or whatever. Because I do think that this was Mercedes' race to win. I think that they just had to get their heads down and do it, and they did it. And that, I mean, they got a 1-2. It's super impressive. I think it's going to be one of many that we see this season. But it was, regardless.
And in the words of Kimmy and Tonelli, that's going to be brave, and they were brave.
That was so good. Kimmy, we're thinking about pushing these tires to the end of the lap. Just let us know what you think about it. That's going to be brave.
That's going to be brave. The whole Discord was erupting with laughter.
Our entire Discord enjoyed that. Okay, but we have to talk about Aston Martin, because we have to, because I just take everything that I say with a grain of salt. But from what I've been reading, I think what happened was their partnership was announced years ago. I think it was like 2023 or 4 that they announced that Aston Martin was going to work with Honda. So we knew 2025 was the last season that Honda would be powering Red Bull, because Red Bull would be going on to make their own powertrains. I mean, they partnering with Ford, but still. And then 2026 was going to be Honda and Aston Martin and Adrian Newey and all of that. And everybody was kind of like, oh, they might have this. I mean, even I thought, oh, they might have this. But I guess during those years when Aston Martin's team would visit the Honda factory, they would show them all of the positive stuff, but they would kind of leave out the negatives. Yeah, they would leave out the negatives, or they would kind of like brush them under the rug as stuff they were already working on solutions for. But in November of 25, they, I guess, came forward and said, we don't know what we're doing with some of this. And that is rough for Aston Martin. I mean, you're talking a team that has spent so much money to ensure that they have a great team for this new set of regulations, and you're withholding information on the struggle that they're about to have, and the struggle that you're about to put the GOAT through, because Fernando Alonso's last season, he's got to deal with this. So Aston Martin, during this race, because of all these issues that they've had, Adrian Newey came forward. I mean, we knew that they were going to retire the cars, because he said himself, if they drive them for too long, they could risk nerve damage because of the vibrations being so bad. And it makes sense, because if something's wrong with your car and it's vibrating at 60 miles an hour when you're on the highway, imagine tripling that speed and dealing with it, threefold. So I wouldn't want to drive it either. Yeah, I absolutely would not want to be behind the wheel of that car. So I'm impressed with how far they went, but eventually they did have to retire both cars.
And then they just kind of they DNF'd, and they said, hey, so we're here. We're not part of the race anymore. We're just gonna circulate around the track and touch stuff.
It was funny to see it pop up. It would be like Fernando Alonso plus 10 laps, and then it's so funny.
Gone. Fernando Alonso plus 45 laps. Like, what? Like,
so funny.
Like, Fernando, no.
Yeah.
No, but Lance made it further. Lance Stroll got 43 laps in, and they were only predicting 20. So Fernando said, screw this, and he's like, 21 laps, I'm done. I'm too old for this. I'm going to bed.
Yeah. But I think they were able to push it a little farther than they thought they would be able to, which is good. Hopefully they can move in the right direction, but I don't think they're going to have this fixed by the Chinese Grand Prix. I think we're going to see another rough race for Aston Martin. And I think that they've ultimately probably counted themselves out of the season already. I don't know why they wouldn't. But it's sad. It's sad to see, especially during Alonso's last season. I would love to see him podium or win a race or do something, but if it really is his last season, it's going to be a rough one. I kind of hope he sticks around for one more.
I would love him too, but he's about to be a dad.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue it.
Yeah.
So Mercedes got a 1-2.
Yep. Mercedes did in fact get a 1-2.
Ferrari got a 3-4.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. Not bad.
Insane. We had a lot of really cool close calls, really cool overtakes.
Yeah, Franco Colapinto's close call at the beginning.
Dude,
that save
one
was
from
crazy.
Franco, they showed it in the cooldown room, and even George was like, "What the actual heck?"
Yeah, that
because like
I didn't see it the first time
cool.
around. Like I just saw it before we started recording, and it's an insane watch. That like few seconds of
my teeth were gritted every time I watched it. I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah, absolutely insane.
No way.
And then we didn't. The one DNF that we did not cover was Valtteri Bottas did have to DNF. Yeah. He locked up outside the pit lane. This is actually part of the reason why all of us were screaming at Ferrari, because if they had pitted the first time, it looked like they were going to pit the second time. I think Lewis was like, nope, bring me in, we're pitting. But they had to close the pit lane entry to get Bottas's car in. And so they lost their chance to pit. And honestly, it kind of looked like the Ferrari mechanics were visibly upset. I think everyone in that moment knew, like, okay, well, we just handed it to Mercedes. So
right. But even still, Ferrari and Mercedes 50 seconds ahead of the rest of the pack. George was 54 seconds ahead of Max, 51 seconds ahead of Lando. They weren't the pack was not touching these four. Yeah. They were on Rainbow Road riding the high.
For real. Did you see the funny little Mario Kart edit?
Yes.
And so when Charles is like, this feels like a mushroom in Mario Kart, and then it shows like the little lightning cloud when Isaac went off, and it was good. Oh. It was good.
Dude, I'm hoping that next race we get a whole lot more fun little quips on the radio, because like I love that. That's probably one of my favorite parts. I think the fun little quips.
I think as the season continues, we might get a few. I forget that you weren't around for the beginning of like the ground effect era, so you don't. Whenever changes like this happen, whenever there's like a lot of people the radio does get kind of quiet in the beginning of the season, because you have a lot of communication that they're not going to share about the teams and what they're doing with the cars and all that. Crazily. Yeah. So
however, I did find one today, which was really cool to find. It was from Max. Somebody found and uploaded all of the communications for Max throughout the race, and it was really cool to hear, because you're like, okay, he made it from 20th to 6th, but not without his problems. There was a whole lot of, this feels good, this does not feel good, we need to watch this, okay, we're doing this, I can't catch Lando, my pace isn't going to let me, I'm going to sit here because there's too much that we need to fix.
100%. And I think it was
obviously really paraphrasing.
It is very, very cool to watch, like, from start to finish, the communication between the pit wall and a driver about the car, because you kind of get an idea of like, oh, so this is all the time that we're watching them on screen, this is what they're doing. So it's a very, very cool watch, and I do think it speaks a lot to Max on, if the car was fighting him that much and he was still able to make up those positions, imagine if he was agreeable with the car.
Right. Imagine if he had a great start and a better qualifying.
Honestly,
and you know,
I think Red Bull has a lot of promise. I think that with Isaac's qualifying time and what Max's could have been if he didn't go into the wall, I think we would have had a top. I think Max still would have been top 6. Yeah,
regardless. I don't know where he would have gone against Mercedes and Ferrari, but I think our top 3 teams right now are Mercedes, Ferrari, and then McLaren and
maybe Red. Yeah, they're like interchangeable. One of those two is the big 4 are gonna stay the big 4. I think. I don't think we're gonna get a breakthrough of a new top team.
Just an Aston Martin comes out of the woodwork and just snipes
builds like 2 rocket ships, like 2 incredible rocket ships, and
we've got one.
Lance Stroll starts winning races again.
Sure, listen, we've got a week till China.
That's not happening. That is not, even if they worked around the clock once they get there, because everything has to be shipped, so they can't do anything for a couple days at least. Once they get there, they've got like a couple days before the practice session starts. I mean, sure, they could probably pull something off, but it's not gonna fix it. They're not gonna fix everything.
Wait, isn't Honda based in Japan?
I believe, yes.
All right, so they were in China. The shipping times are shorter.
No, that's not how that works.
Let me dream.
That's why I think it's actually, if I remember correctly, I watched an entire video on the logistics of F1 because I think it's so interesting. They have like 3 identical sets of everything.
Right.
And so once the race in Australia finishes, everything that was there actually gets shipped to a future race, and then the next race the stuff has already arrived or something like that. It's crazy how they do it. I mean, like, it's all very like meticulously planned or whatever. So I think the cars are the only thing that are consistently transported between races. Right. But I think imagine having that job. That would be insane.
Insane.
Yeah. But yeah, I think so talking the fantasy part of it, we won't bore you guys with all the numbers, but we calculated everything out.
It was really fun to do last night, though.
It actually was incredibly fun. We had me and Kika had a spreadsheet up. We made like a spreadsheet for the Australian Grand Prix specifically.
You started it. I knew exactly what we were doing, and our
brain meld. Yeah,
held hands. Our 2 little brain cells held hands, and we're like, okay,
yeah.
I mean,
the synchronicity is insane. It is insane. But yeah, so we definitely had a lot of fun doing the fantasy thing. What eventually came out to be, unfortunately, Kika had a little bit of a bad time. Her drivers, a lot of her drivers were the ones to struggle. She had 1 retirement, which is a straight blank slate 0. I had 1 retirement, but then you had 3 DNFs and I had 1, right? So
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And I think at the end of it all, I'm sitting at around a total of 241 points, and Kika is sitting around 176. That's combined total with constructor and driver, so we'll have to break it down further, but it is kind of crazy to me. I know that's a 70-point difference, and I mean, like, that could flip-flop next week for all we know, but it is insane to me that you had 4 drivers out of the race and you still remained within 70 points.
Oh, I do think, listen, I'm just saying, if you also didn't have, if we were sharing Haas, I could be a little bit further
up. That is true. Yeah, that's maybe.
But even still, because for top 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we each had 5 in the top 10.
Yeah.
Which obviously points vary as the thing was going on, right? But we still had 5.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, not only that, but when it came down to constructors, like, Haas was somewhere in the middle, I think, for us, but then you had the top constructor and then I had the next few. So I think, yeah,
and, like, I think, the little numbers always, but you're like, oh, those numbers are low. No, but low numbers add up very fast.
Well, not only that, but like, you got the 1-2 podium, so you picked up some extra points there and everything. Right. So yeah, and I think
your DNFs, you got the head of teammates, that Max Verstappen positions gained definitely
that helped me a lot. Yeah, I got an extra.
It was so much fun.
Not only that, but him getting the fastest lap, like Max.
That was nice.
The amount of points that George got for finishing the race first, getting pole position, and
ahead of the teammate.
Yeah, and ahead of the teammate. We have to add the pole position point, by the way. I don't think I actually did that. But he's actually only 1 point ahead of the points that Max gained, just because of the positions, the fastest lap. So I think our fantasy system is actually very fun because it allows for stuff like that, where Max started P20 and ended up being a point different in our fantasy league from.
Wait, so that means that. Okay, then I'm sitting at 180.
Yeah, so you're even closer. 181, okay. Right? Is where
something
you would be?
like that. I don't do math.
Yeah, 181.
176 plus.
So you're only 60 points behind me.
Okay, great. Perfect. But even still.
Yeah. It's been fun. The fantasy league, I think, is something that we thought would be pretty fun. But it actually, I think it made the race 10 times more fun for me last night. Like, even, but I'm a very I love stats. I love stuff like that. So
you're my numbers girly, and I love
that for sure. Yeah, and it's so funny because if you ask me to do it for like homework, I don't want anything to do with it. But stuff like this, I'm so in. I'm so in. But yeah, that's the Australian Grand Prix. It was a good time. I can't wait to watch more races in our Discord with everybody. And
that was so much fun. Yeah. If you guys don't know, we do have a Discord where I post memes almost every day.
Yeah. Kika's on top of it with posting.
I have nothing better. I'm on medical leave for work right now, so I've got nothing better to do with my life. We make our predictions, we have our fantasy, we sit there, we chat, but we also, now we can't promise it'll be for every race because, we unfortunately have lives. Some of these races are at insane times, but one of us should at least be, updating in real time, streaming the race, doing things like that. So, if you guys have Discord, come join us in the Discord.
We have events for everything. Yeah, we have events for everything. We have a specific chat for watching the races, and I mean, we don't even have to be there. You guys are more than welcome to stream it amongst yourselves and watch. But it's a fun time. It's fun to sit there. It's fun to talk while the boring parts of the races are happening. It's fun to make predictions or like talk about what teams should and shouldn't be doing, talk about the choices of tire compounds. Like it gets to be a really, really fun time. And I think it's great because we had one of our friends who is so new to F1 joined last night, and so we got to teach a few things about like the Ferrari pit. He was like, why is it such a bad thing that they didn't pit? And we got to explain
why are we mad?
Undercutting. Right. We got to explain racing advantages and tire advantage and stuff like that.
And so they came in at a really good time for they don't have to remember all the old stuff. They get to learn everything as we're learning it. We're all learning together, which is a lot of fun too.
That is it makes it for a very enjoyable time. I also think I adore the F1 community. For the most part, they are incredible people who are genuinely interested in racing and the story and the drama that happens on the track rather than off the track. And so it's a fun time to watch races with people. It is. For so long I did it alone, so it feels really great to be able to watch it with people now and enjoy it to this degree.
Yeah. So now shuffling a little bit because we've got a lot of time. We've got more things to talk about. Shuffling to the China race.
Oh yeah, I have my statistics.
Yeah. I'll give you statistics. We'll give our predictions.
Yes. Yeah. So Chinese Grand Prix. It's the Shanghai circuit. It is 5.451 kilometers long. That is 3.387 miles for my Americans. 16 turns.
Eagles and cheeseburgers.
I can't tell you either one of those.
Hold on,
go do the math.
No, I'm not doing the math. We're making our engineer do the math.
Oh yeah. We'll make our engineer do the math. The race lap record here is a 132.238 set by Michael Schumacher in 2004 for Ferrari. I believe this. Yeah, it was built in 2004 after, I'm going to butcher this, Shanghai circuit failed to meet the FIA standards 5 years prior. So in 1999, we were going to have a Chinese Grand Prix. It did not live up to the standards of the FIA, which inspired the building of the Shanghai circuit. It is on swampland. It took 18 months to build, and it was $450 million of work. After that, over the years since it was built, it has become quite a bumpy track. So there's a lot of rough pavement on there. I don't know if there are any plans to redo any part of it. I know they redid the Monza Straight after a while because I have a piece of the track. So I know that they do that from time to time. I don't think any work has been done on Shanghai from my knowledge, but I could be wrong. Uh, the really fun facts that I have here is that Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton are actually the only two current grid drivers to have multiple wins at the Shanghai Grand Prix. I believe they've both won. Ooh, I think they've both won more than once, and I think maybe one other person, but I can't remember who it was. It might have been Vettel, but that I could be wrong on that. But Lewis Hamilton has won this 6 times, and he's held pole position 6 times, and he's the only person to have done both of those. And this is
so
actually
we're going for 7.
Yeah. And then Michael Schumacher, who set the fastest lap here, this is actually the track where he had his final win in Formula One.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's a very fun track. If anybody does Formula One racing games, like if you have the racing sim or if you play it or whatever, Shanghai is such a fun track. It's got this very unique like double hairpin kind of turn. It's a very tight S curve, and it is such a blast. Me and our buddy Goose, we love racing this track together. But it makes for a very interesting race, I think, because there is a lot of high speed in it, and there are a lot of like very intricate turns like that one. So I'm excited to see what happens here because it's a good chance for if anybody's got that downforce still going strong, it's going to be nice around those tight corners.
What dates is this race?
The Shanghai Grand Prix, the Chinese Grand Prix, will happen March 13th through the 15th. This is going to be a pretty crappy one. It is a sprint weekend, so on Saturday, March 14th, we will have a sprint race. This one is going to suck for those of you that are in, the Americas because it happens at 2 a.m. Central Standard Time. The race does. I don't know if the sprint race is later or earlier. I can actually look that up for you, but it's gonna be a rough one.
I don't think we'll be updating the formula sheet in real time that night.
We might be. I don't think we're making a Sunday recording on that one.
No, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's okay. We'll watch it later. Watch our highlights. Now, while she's looking at the sprint stuff, I'm gonna go ahead and give my predictions. Obviously, I think it goes without saying right now. I really think. I mean, obviously, my predictions were semi-true with my predictions. Because I have it right here. Race predictions. Ferrari, Mercedes, and maybe McLaren top 3 in no particular order. I do think Ferrari and Mercedes are going to at least be on the podium once again. And I think that's going to be my running prediction for the years. It's going to be a race between Ferrari and Mercedes until something comes out of the blue.
Yeah, well, I know Shanghai should be a pretty good race for Ferrari. I mean, they've won this track so many times because they won it with, I believe, Nico Rosberg won it. Lewis Hamilton's won. Michael Schumacher won it with Ferrari. Mercedes has also won here quite a bit. If I'm remembering correctly, because Lewis won it with Mercedes most of the time, right? But he is now with Ferrari, and so him holding the most wins on this track is a little hopeful. Now he's not in a Mercedes. And I know Nico Rosberg was also with Mercedes when he won. So truthfully, Mercedes is really good on the track. Ferrari's pretty good on the track. I believe the total, I think, consecutive winners is Mercedes has 6 wins, I believe, and then Ferrari has 4. So I think it's anyone's game.
It is anyone. I do think that we're in a. I will say I think we're in a Ferrari Mercedes era.
Yeah. I would definitely say they were the quickest to crack the code on this 50-50 engine type, this hybrid, and I think that we're going to see a lot of what they can do this year. I think we're going to have a lot of teams who can catch up next year, but for now, I'm just going to enjoy Ferrari being competitive. It's really, really nice to see.
We do forget silly season. Silly season does exist. So
Yeah.
we could have a turn of the tide halfway through.
Yeah, silly season we have a lot of people who their contracts are up, so we could see different driver lineups next year that would affect it. Like if you were to throw Max in a Mercedes, I think we're going to see complete domination, right? Or if you were to throw, you know, Charles up to Red Bull, or any of those combinations, it's the drivers and the cars do 50-50 on the work, right? Like your car can be really, really good, but if you don't have a good driver behind it, that's not going to perform to its full potential. So silly season and the new contracts that are going to come out for 2027, I mean, that could shake things up next year for sure. For this year though, I think we're going to see a steady Mercedes and Ferrari.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. I'm interested to see, truthfully, in the next year, how Arvid's career goes and if he's offered maybe a switch with Isaac. It'll depend because I think Isaac has what it takes to keep his spot. So maybe Arvid will stay in the Racing Bulls, and maybe that'll just make the Racing Bulls a little more competitive.
I think my favorite meme right now is the joke that the second seat curse has technically been lifted, but it's also switched, and that it's going to Max. After seeing the results of yesterday's race, like, yeah, no, that's not happening. However, it's funny to think about it that way, just because you're like, wow, because Isaac aced it in qualifying.
Yeah. I think that meme is so funny where it's like all the previous second seat curse drivers and they're like, Max, join us.
Join us. I think I said it to you like literally a little bit ago, where it was all the Australians.
Yeah.
For the home race. For Ozzy, it was like, Oscar. Join us. We had Danny, Rick, and everybody. And I was like, no!
I feel so bad because I know that's like we shared before, Danny Rick was the closest to come to breaking that home curse, and then he had that disqualification. And man, I want to see an Australian win the Australian Grand Prix. Like honestly, I would take Valtteri if I could, like I know he's I mean I've seen a lot of Australian people say yes, we claim him, he is Australian.
Right.
And I know it's not his actual like hometown, but it's his home. It's where he lives.
Right.
So I mean,
it's where him and his wife live.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate to see both of them taken out of the race, because then it's like, oh, well, all of you Australians who are like here for Oscar and also kind of claim Valtteri, you just lost all your chances.
No.
You lost all your viewing capacity.
There's plenty of time in the world.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for Sunday. I'm excited for the season.
Too.
I know we didn't know what we were gonna get, and I think that we're in for a very entertaining season.
Yeah.
Nonetheless.
I agree. I think we're gonna have a really good season. I do have the update.
We're gonna have safety cars galore.
Definitely virtual ones at the least. But I have the updated times and days for you guys. So this upcoming, these are all going to be in Central Standard Time, because that is what it adjusted to for me. So make sure that you adjust the time zone per se, or check out it. I'm on F1 or on f1tv.formula1.com. They have the schedule for every race with, local time so that you can see what time it is for you. But heading into Friday, we're going to have sprint qualifying at 2:30 in the afternoon. We're going to have the sprint race at 10 o'clock at night on Friday, which will be kind of nice for us, if we're being honest.
Oh, yeah, we'll be there for that.
Yeah, and then that heads into Saturday morning at 2 a.m. is the qualifying. We will probably not be there for that. I mean, maybe. We'll see. And
I probably might.
I think I could swing it. It's just a question of do I want to.
How badly do I want to?
Yeah.
How much sleep debt do I want to?
Yeah, for sure. I know. Friday I will be missing the sprint race because I will be playing Dungeons and Dragons. But the qualifying I'll definitely be able to. I'll probably watch it while I'm working, and then. Oh no, I'm off Fridays. What am I talking about? I'll be here.
You'll be here.
But Saturday at 2 a.m. we'll have the qualifying. Again, that's Central Standard Time. Same time for the race on Sunday, 2 a.m. Central Standard. So
I'm not making that.
I'll
watch highlights later.
I'm gonna call it right now. That's probably a wake up Sunday morning and watch the replay of the race for me. Do not listen to me. Do not call me with results. Do not.
I will probably also be asleep.
Yeah, do not. If you wake me up and you scream at me who won the race, I'm not answering your calls on Sundays anymore.
Oh wait, please. No, I called her yesterday. I was like, I know it's not Sunday, but did you see the results of the race? She goes, huh? What did you see? This is your obligatory race day.
I thought, dude, you did that to me. I need you to know. I thought I had slept through an entire day. I was like, oh my god, did I miss the race?
No, see, joke's on you. I didn't go to bed till I forgot the times changed last night. By the way, this week the times changed, so I sat there and I'm like, yeah, it's 1:05 next. A friend in Discord goes, yeah, it's 3 a.m. I gotta go to bed, and I said, huh?
You went, it sure is.
Huh?
You said it's 3 a.m. You said it sure is.
Great. So I didn't end up going to bed till 4 a.m. I will not be repeating that this week.
Yeah,
not in a million years.
I didn't make it to bed until 5 a.m, and then my brother and I ran into each other in the hallway, and
yes!
and I looked at him and I was like, hey, and he looked at me. He said, hey, and I said, so you're still up? And he said, yeah. Can you take mom to the airport tomorrow? And I said, I'm also still awake, man. He's like, yeah, but I'll clean out the freezer. And I was like, whatever, fine, sure. So then I wake up today. My mom was heading back. My parents were in town visiting me, my brother and I, and so we're all staying at the house right now. And my mom wakes up and she goes, you don't have to take me. I got an Uber. And I was like, why would you do that? And she was like, because you guys didn't sound so thrilled to take me to the airport and everything. I was like, no, it's not that. It's that I didn't.
I'm flying up. Next time I'm flying up and I will take her to the airport. We can go to the airport together.
No, it was so funny because I was like, it wasn't you. It was the fact that my dumbass brother sees me awake at 4 a.m. and then asks me if 6 hours later I can be ready to drive you to the airport. It was just a thing of like, why are you putting it on me? So she was like, "What?"
I woke up at 1 p.m. today, so
yeah. I mean, I woke up at 9. I'm crazy, so I can't.
Let me change that. My dogs, my Builder Malinois, who has no sense of time, woke me up at 7:30 this morning, and then I said, "We're going back to sleep," and I didn't get out of bed again until 1.
It's actually very funny.
Dogs,
yeah,
man.
I don't mind.
We're not making a race.
I don't mind the lack of sleep. Truthfully, it's fine by me. I mean, I'm off on the weekends. It's my time to do something silly or whatever. I just think that by the time that 4 a.m. hits, when the race ends, I will be dead.
No.
So
I'll wake up for a 4 a.m. race. I will not stay up for a 4.
I think we just wake up on Sunday and we just watch it together on Sunday.
Yeah, you'll call me at some point. We'll figure that out. We'll figure it out. I'm exhausted, man. I'm tired.
But yes, that is, with all of that being said, all of the Australian stuff out of the way and all of your fun facts and dates and times. What's your final, give me your who's your podium or your pick or your favorite or whatever for China? I'm going to stick to my guns and say we're going to have, I'll tell you what I want. I want to see Charles and Lewis on the podium, probably with George. That's what I want to see.
Yes, for sure. I'll also throw in
You'll throw in a what?
A Kimmy, sorry.
Oh, no, no problem. Yeah, I think any combination of 3 of the 4 out of them.
I think we're definitely getting Mercedes Ferrari podium regardless.
I'm gonna start throwing out wild card picks for podiums, and I'm gonna call
Franco Calvindo.
Is that gonna be yours every week?
my wild card is Franco Calvindo. I will so much money this year, but yes.
No, I'm gonna throw out a wild card because Red Bull does have some history at this track. I'm gonna throw out a wild card. I'm gonna say Max. Max makes it to a podium.
I think either Max or Isaac.
Yeah, they both could do it. They both look like they're agreeing.
Isaac's got the pace.
I think they're both agreeing with the car a little better than some of the other drivers are agreeing with theirs. So I think
But
there's
again,
a chance.
Oscar. If we have both McLarens, that could also change the tide.
I think that they have great teamwork. So I think if both McLarens are in it, they also do stand a chance. But this week I'm gonna throw my wild card on Max.
That's okay. I see. I can see it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Franco just because it's funny. But no, I definitely think that we are in the era of Mercedes. I keep wanting to say McLaren, but it's Mercedes and Ferrari, and I think we're going to have a sweep like we did last year with McLaren. With these two.
Well, honestly, I would love if it were like last year because the entertainment of watching one person fight 2 others for a championship title was incredibly fun.
Insane.
And I don't think that Mercedes would I don't know that they'll let Kimi and George race. I think they're gonna stick to kind of prioritizing George. But you never know. And if we do get some competitive nature between George and Kimi, I think it'll be really fun. Especially because Kimi is, he's on his 2nd season.
I think Toto will let Kimi race it out.
Yeah. I think
once, and then towards the end they'll make some. I think he'll let him get within I say they'd let them fight for some points for a little bit, and then towards the end to be like, okay, we're prioritizing George unless something crazy happens.
I have a feeling because what's important to Toto and what's important to Mercedes is winning the constructors. So I think once it feels like they have the constructors pretty much in the bag, I think that they'll let the guys race. But I think until then, it's going to be if Kimi is in first, we're prioritizing Kimi. If George is in first, we're prioritizing George. We're not going to race. We're not going to risk it. We need both those points for the finish. So I have a feeling that it'll just come down to which one of them can pull it off. And if we're being completely honest, I think that's going to be George 9 times out of 10. But I would not be surprised if we get a Kimi win this year.
No, not at all. I mean, he hasn't had his win yet, but he's been in podiums. So
yeah.
I definitely think that we're gonna have a good Kimi year. I think, and I mean, obviously, everyone's like we've been waiting. It's George's time, because it's a waiting game. It's unfortunately we were talking about this last night. Formula One, you can't predict what's happening, but it's so predictable.
Yeah. It's either everything goes exactly how you think it's going to go, or it is nothing like it should be. I mean, last year's a perfect example, right? We all predicted that Lando Norris was going to win the world championship, that they were going to prioritize Lando.
And we knew it silly season. Silly season came, we're like, Lando's won. We're just vibing now.
Yeah. By the time that summer break came, we were all pretty on we were like, yeah, Lando's taking this. It is what it is, whatever, da. And then Max comes back the way he does. And so were we all right? Yes, we predicted it right. Lando took it. But not how we thought it was going to go.
At all.
No. So I think it's going to be a great season. I'm excited to get further into it. I'm excited for the Chinese Grand Prix. And I hope you guys all enjoy it the way that we are absolutely going to enjoy it.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Me too.
I'm excited to do this with you too. Like, not only just like the podcast,
oh,
but I'm
do
excited to like
not
do this
get sappy with me. Do not get sappy with me right now. Where's the sticker? Drop that sap sticker. I can't believe you're doing this to me right now. Can't believe you're doing this to me alive on the air in front of all of our 9 freaking watchers at home.
Hey, listen, we love. Hey, listen, you know what? No, I'm happy to be doing this with them too. Our 9 watchers.
Yeah.
Because you know what? It's so fun to get texts, of them being like, "Yo, I just listened to the podcast," and we're like, "Ah,
yeah.
oh my gosh!"
Yeah, it's always an exciting thing is when somebody comments and they say, "Hey, I like what you said here," and I'm like,
Except we do have.
Okay,
we
don't
also
we don't have to.
I love you.
We don't have to mention you know how.
Yes.
Listen, we are not going to do any predictions far ahead of the seasons anymore. Okay, we've learned our lesson. It went really, really bad. So
I'm just saying, we've got a couple trolls who happen to be our besties, and they're trolling us into trolls. We love you.
Do we?
Beat you up.
do we?
We do love them.
Anyways, we are getting so off topic. We hope that you guys enjoy the Chinese Grand Prix. We will be here next week to talk to you guys about the results, whether or not Kika stays in a deficit for the fantasy. I think you're gonna. Between Kimmy and or not Kimmy, between George and Lewis, I think you're gonna be fine. But whether Kika stays in the deficit of the fantasy points, whether we have more Aston Martin issues, whether we have a competitive Red Bull that can rise through the ranks next week, whether we have...
If McLaren falls apart again.
Yeah, whether we have a Ferrari that can actually fight the entire race with Mercedes, or if Mercedes just gonna take it all to the end. But we'll see you guys next week. Have a great week.
Perfect.
Enjoy your weekend. Pet your pets for us.
Yeah, Ash just grabbed her squeaky heart, so we gotta.
I know. I heard the squeaky toy. Show some love. Show some love to your pets. Have a great rest of your week, and we will see you guys in Shanghai. Goodbye.
Bye.